We're going to really wind things up tonight. Everything that we're going to play with will be a clockwork or mechanical or wind-up train, however you want to use the terminology. This one here is a Hafner 109 from the very late 1920s. Now, I don't have any coaches that match it, so we're going to borrow some American Flyer. This little piece is from the early 1930s to somewhere in the mid-30s probably. Another Hafner 110 with some Sunshine Special coaches. This Hafner outfit was called the Century of Progress, and it was issued right in time for the World's Fair in Chicago, so this would have been in the mid-30s. One of the more common pre-war sets. This style locomotive is a 1010, and you'll see quite a few of them in the related cars that would go with them. They were from around the mid-30s to just after World War II, somewhere in that time frame. This particular set is repainted pretty close to the original color, or I mean the locomotive and tender anyway. And as you'll see, the 1010 style and the freight cars and passenger cars that go with it are fairly common. I have quite a few variations of them. Another one in red. Some of these long streamlined coaches, freight cars and that, are kind of hard to come by, especially nice ones. This fairly attractive tan and green in the 1010. Now this one's with the passenger cars instead of freight cars. And this color combination is pretty hard to get. They don't show up too often. I really like it. The blue and cream one is probably one of the more common ones, but it's also pretty hard to find in really nice condition. I've got one extra car in this makeup. But we get up here to the front, and I want you to see I've got an extra locomotive, but look carefully at the tops of them. This one, as on most of my other 1010s, has a streamlined cowl. And this one here does not. It's got the smokestack and sand domes and stuff on the top. These are pretty hard to find like this. This type here would come from about the last generation of trains that were still under the Hafner name. These streamlined ones come from mid to late 40s. Here's another freight set from that late era. I've named this one the Rainbow Warrior just because of the colors on the locomotive and tender. Very pretty setup. This one doesn't have a brake, so you'll have to tolerate my hand here for a second. It's wound up, and we'll let her go. as these are going around the track, you'll hear a bell on a lot of them. And what it is, if you look, there's a bell riveted to the underside of the cab on the locomotive. And there's this little guy that flops. And this part of it right here hits the cross tie on the track as it goes around and causes it to flip up and ding the bell. Real simple, cheap, adds a little fun to them.